You may recognize her. She's a famous actress and producer there in Hollywood. Actress Diane Keaton has now died at the age of 79.
When news broke of Diane Keaton's passing,
Some sad breaking news now, and that is that the actress Diane Keaton has died at the age of 79.
Hollywood stood still. But what happened days later left everyone speechless.
The world is mourning the death of legendary actress Diane Keaton.
Jack Nicholson, her longtime friend, co-star, and kindred spirit, was seen kneeling at her memorial, tears streaming down his face.
I have to say, I have a lot of memories of Diane. I guess I feel as though I've known you my whole life.
What unfolded next stunned witnesses and sparked whispers of something almost otherworldly. Was it a coincidence, fate, or a final message from Diane herself? Stay tuned as we uncover the emotional moment that turned grief into something truly extraordinary. Tears, light, and an unseen presence. Hollywood was left in collective heartbreak when news broke that Diane Keaton had passed away at the age of 79. To the world, she was more than just a film icon. She was a living embodiment of originality, humor, and unfiltered authenticity.
Diane Keaton has died. Annie Hall and The Godfather passing away in California.
Known for her unforgettable performances, sharp wit, and unmistakable charm, Keaton carved out a space in Hollywood that was entirely her own. Her presence was electric, her laughter contagious, and her courage to be unapologetically herself made her not just admired, but deeply loved. But for one man, her loss cut far deeper than the rest. Jack Nicholson, the Oscar-winning actor
and the Oscar goes to Jack Nicholson, and As Good as It Gets.
Keaton's dear friend of more than 5 decades, was said to be utterly devastated. Their friendship had survived decades of fame, personal struggles, and the unpredictable waves of Hollywood's ever-changing world. They were kindred spirits, two creative souls who shared a rare connection that transcended the screen. Together, they brought to life one of cinema's most memorable romantic pairings in Something's Gotta Give 2003, and their chemistry, both on and off camera, became legendary. A few days after her passing, Nicholson was spotted visiting a private memorial site in California dedicated to Keaton. It was a quiet, sunlit corner surrounded by flowers and oak trees, serene, timeless, and intimate, much like Keaton herself. Witnesses described an emotional scene that few will ever forget. The 88-year-old actor approached the site slowly, his steps heavy with grief. Kneeling before the memorial, he bowed his head, visibly trembling. Those nearby could hear him whisper her name, a heartbreaking sound that spoke volumes of the love and loss he felt. Then, something extraordinary happened. As Nicholson wept, his voice breaking in the still air, the atmosphere around the memorial seemed to shift. A sudden breeze, gentle yet strong enough to rustle the flowers and the leaves, swept through the area. The sound was soft, almost like a sigh. Moments later, the clouds that had gathered above parted, and a single shaft of sunlight broke through, casting a warm golden glow across the memorial stone. The moment was brief, but powerful. Nicholson froze. Witnesses said he looked up toward the sky, his expression one of disbelief mixed with wonder. Some described it as a look of recognition, as if he felt her presence there with him. For a man who rarely showed his emotions publicly, this was raw and real. He stayed silent for several moments, then gave a faint, wistful smile, his tears still glistening in the sunlight. Those who were there couldn't help but feel something profound, a sense that this was no coincidence. It was as though Diane Keaton, even in death, was reaching out to comfort the friend who had loved and admired her for so many years. The gentle breeze, the sunlight breaking through, all of it seemed like her final, silent message. A reminder that love and connection, never truly die. For Jack Nicholson, that moment changed everything. What began as a farewell drenched in sorrow became something far more meaningful. A moment of peace, of spiritual connection, of understanding that Diane's spirit would never fade. Her warmth, laughter, and creativity would continue to live on, not only through her films, but through the hearts of those she touched. Even in her absence, Diane Keaton managed to do what she did best: light up the world one last time. Many believe Diane felt Jack's presence that day, a quiet nod to their lasting bond. But what was their relationship truly like? Were they ever more than friends? And how did Jack describe the woman who touched his heart? Now let's uncover the truth behind their extraordinary friendship. A bond forged in laughter. In an industry often marked by fleeting connections and scripted emotions, the friendship between Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton stood as one of Hollywood's most genuine and enduring relationships. Their bond was not born out of publicity or convenience, but from a shared understanding of what it meant to live passionately, create fearlessly, and laugh freely. Among all the friendships Keaton formed throughout her illustrious career, none quite matched the warmth, playfulness, and depth she shared with Nicholson. Their story began on the set of Reds in 1981, two powerhouse performers at the height of their artistic prowess. Even then, sparks of friendship flickered between them, ignited by mutual respect and curiosity. But it was more than 2 decades later, during the filming of Nancy Meyers' romantic comedy Something's Gotta Give 2003, that their bond would fully blossom. The film became not only a cinematic success, earning Keaton an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, but also a reflection of their real-life chemistry, witty, authentic, and deeply human. For Nicholson, working alongside Keaton was nothing short of exhilarating. He often described their time together as a joyful dance of intellect and humor, a constant exchange of wit and warmth that made even the longest days on set feel effortless. Like me, inside she's pretty wild about fooling around, Nicholson once said with a grin. You can say anything to Diane. Their interactions were unscripted magic, moments when the line between performance and reality seemed to blur. Nicholson loved recalling their playful banter. During Something's Gotta Give, he shared how Keaton's sharp, unpredictable sense of humor would catch him completely off guard. Sometimes, her preparation. I'll walk up to her and she'll look me in the eye and say, "You're disgusting." I'll say, "What?" And she repeats, "You're disgusting." And it makes you laugh, he reminisced. It was this spontaneity, her ability to disarm with humor, that made her so magnetic, both on and off the camera. But beneath the laughter was something deeper, a profound admiration that transcended the screen. Nicholson often spoke about Keaton's authenticity and fearlessness. She's a very original thinker, he reflected, as a person and as an artist. On a movie, you stand and talk, and we have a past relationship of affection and like one another very much. It makes the day, sometimes the down hours. That part is very interesting. Their friendship became a cornerstone in both their lives, untainted by fame or time. Through decades of career highs and personal changes, their connection never wavered. They didn't need constant communication to maintain their closeness. Their bond was one of those rare Hollywood relationships built on mutual respect, emotional honesty, and shared laughter. When they appeared together, whether on screen or at industry events, their chemistry radiated. Not romantic, but something even more enduring: companionship. Keaton, with her unfiltered charm, and Nicholson, with his mischievous wit, seemed to bring out the best in each other. Even as the years passed and their careers took different turns, the affection between them remained palpable. It was a friendship that reflected the very essence of what made both stars beloved: sincerity, humor, and a fearless embrace of life. In a world where relationships often flicker out as quickly as they begin, Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson's connection glowed steadily for over 5 decades, a testament to laughter, loyalty, and the timeless power of true friendship. Beyond their bond that stood strong through fame, distance, and time, but what were Diane's final moments really like? How was she laid to rest, and what emotional words did her family share after her passing? Now, let's uncover Diane Keaton's final farewell, a graceful goodbye. The world was left heartbroken when news broke that Diane Keaton, the beloved Hollywood icon whose talent, humor, and individuality inspired generations, had passed away on October 11th at the age of 79.
And some breaking news out of Hollywood. People magazine reports Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton has died.
For decades, Keaton had been a fixture of American cinema, a woman who redefined what it meant to be both strong and vulnerable on screen. Her passing marked the end of an era, and yet, even in her final moments, Diane's life seemed to reflect the same grace and authenticity that defined her journey. A few days after her passing, details surrounding her final arrangements emerged, bringing both closure and comfort to those who admired her. According to a death certificate obtained by E! News on October 16th, Diane Keaton was cremated on October 14th, 3 days after her peaceful passing. Her family chose a private ceremony, one that honored her lifelong preference for simplicity and sincerity. No grand spectacle, no media frenzy, just a quiet, dignified farewell, surrounded by love, respect, and the warmth of those who knew her best. Her family, still processing the immense loss, released a deeply emotional statement to People magazine on October 15th. Their words captured the overwhelming mix of grief and gratitude that followed her passing. The Keaton family are very grateful for the extraordinary messages of love and support they have received these past few days on behalf of their beloved Diane, who passed away from pneumonia on October 11th. It was a brief but powerful message, one that spoke volumes about how deeply Diane was loved, not just by her family but by millions around the world. Fans, colleagues, and fellow stars poured out tributes across social media, remembering her wit, her spirit, and the effortless charm that made her unforgettable. Messages came from every corner of Hollywood, from directors who had worked with her to actors who had grown up watching her films. Each tribute painted a picture of a woman who not only lit up the screen, but also touched lives with her kindness, humor, and authenticity. Even in her final days, Diane Keaton remained surrounded by care and compassion. Her family ensured she was never alone, that her final chapter was written with the same tenderness that defined so much of her life. Those close to her described her last days as peaceful, filled with quiet moments, soft laughter, and a sense of calm acceptance. It was as though she understood that her story, while ending in one sense, would live on forever through the art she left behind. Her cremation marked not just the conclusion of a brilliant life, but also the beginning of her immortal legacy. Diane Keaton's name will forever echo through Hollywood, a reminder of a woman who dared to be different, who wore her quirks like a badge of honor, and who taught countless others that being true to oneself is the greatest role one can ever play. And so, as the world continues to mourn her loss, it also celebrates the incredible life she lived, one filled with laughter, art, and love. Diane Keaton's earthly journey may have ended, but her spirit, like the unforgettable character she portrayed, continues to shine brightly through time. But how did her colleagues and friends in Hollywood honor her memory? Did they echo Jack Nicholson's heartfelt tribute, or share their own moving reflections? Now let's unravel how Hollywood remembers Diane Keaton. Voices of tribute. When the news of Diane Keaton's passing spread across Hollywood, it sent shockwaves through the hearts of those who knew and loved her. Among the countless tributes that poured in, Few carried as much emotion, warmth, and genuine affection as those from her The First Wives Club co-stars, Goldie Hawn and Bette Midler. The trio had shared not just the screen but a sisterhood, one that began with laughter and ended in tears, bound by memories of a film that became a cultural touchstone for friendship, resilience, and womanhood. In the 1996 comedy classic The First Wives Club, Keaton, Hawn, and Midler played three divorced women who reunite to get even with the husbands who wronged them. It was a film ahead of its time, unapologetically feminist, fiercely funny, and carried by the chemistry of its three leads. Together, they redefined the narrative for women in Hollywood, proving that life and laughter didn't end after 40. Off-screen, their bond grew even deeper. The laughter they shared on set turned into genuine friendship, and over the years, that connection only strengthened. So when Keaton's passing was announced, both Hawn and Midler were devastated. For them, it wasn't just the loss of a co-star, it was the loss of a sister. Bette Midler, known for her own sharp wit and golden voice, shared her grief in a moving Instagram post. "The brilliant, beautiful, extraordinary Diane Keaton has died," she wrote. "I cannot tell you how unbearably sad this makes me." She was hilarious, a complete original, and completely without guile or any of the competitiveness one would have expected from such a star. Her words perfectly captured the essence of Keaton, a woman who radiated authenticity in a world often built on pretense. Midler's tribute reminded fans of what made Diane so special: her humor, her honesty, and her refusal to play by anyone's rules but her own. She wasn't just acting on screen, she was living life with the same quirky confidence that audiences fell in love with decades ago. Goldie Hawn's tribute, meanwhile, was equally emotional and deeply personal. Sharing an old photo of the two of them together, Hawn wrote, "Diane, we aren't ready to lose you." Her words echoed the collective heartbreak felt by millions. Hawn went on to reveal a promise the two had once made, one that spoke to their enduring friendship. "We agreed to grow old together, and one day, maybe live together with all our girlfriends," she wrote. Well, we never got to live together, but we did grow older together. Who knows? Maybe in the next life. It was a bittersweet reflection of a friendship filled with laughter, shared dreams, and mutual admiration. Fans across the world were touched by the sincerity of her words, a reminder that even among Hollywood legends, genuine connections can be rare and precious. For Hawn and Midler, Diane Keaton wasn't just a colleague. She was part of their story, part of a generation of women who broke barriers and redefined success on their own terms. Their tributes serve not only as a farewell, but also as a celebration of a woman whose spirit continues to inspire. Even in death, Diane Keaton managed to bring people together, reminding the world that true friendship, much like great art, never really fades. But what truly led to her passing? Now, let's uncover a private battle behind Hollywood's brightest smile: the untold final days of Diane Keaton. The world knew Diane Keaton as a woman full of light, the charming, quick-witted star whose laugh could fill a room and whose screen presence made generations fall in love. But behind the scenes, in the quiet corners of her California home and the walls of a hospital in Santa Monica, Keaton was fighting a private and heartbreaking battle that few ever knew about. While her family initially chose to keep the details of her illness private, a spokesperson later confirmed what fans had long feared: Diane Keaton passed away due to pneumonia. According to the New York Times, the beloved actress was at St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California, when she peacefully succumbed to the illness. For someone who had always lived with grace, humor, and quiet dignity, it was perhaps fitting that her final chapter was marked by the same sense of privacy and peace that she had always cherished. Those closest to Diane revealed that her decline was shockingly sudden. a family friend told People magazine, she declined very suddenly, which was heartbreaking for everyone who loved her. It was so unexpected, especially for someone with such strength and spirit, and that was exactly how those who knew her best described her. A woman of remarkable spirit, whose laughter and determination could lift anyone's mood, even on the darkest day. For months before her passing, Diane had chosen to step away from the public eye. Those close to her say she preferred to spend her time surrounded by her immediate family, the people who had always grounded her when the spotlight grew too bright. Her adopted children, Duke and Dexter, were said to have been by her side, ensuring her final moments were filled with love and warmth, not pain or fear. The Keaton family chose privacy over publicity, keeping her illness hidden even from some of her dearest friends in Hollywood. This decision, though surprising to many, reflected who Diane truly was. Throughout her life, she balanced public adoration with deep personal boundaries. She rarely spoke about her romantic life, never chased fame for its own sake, and preferred authenticity over attention. Even at the height of her career, when awards and accolades poured in, she remained grounded, the same woman who found joy in simple things: architecture, photography, family, and laughter. Her passing therefore felt especially heartbreaking to those who admired her strength and independence. To many, Diane seemed almost timeless. Her energy, humor, and creativity defied age. Her sudden illness was a reminder that even the brightest stars can fade quietly, far from the cameras and flashing lights. In her final days, Diane's family ensured her wishes were honored. There were no grand announcements, no hospital visits from paparazzi, and no spectacle of sorrow. Instead, there was peace, soft voices, familiar faces, and the sound of quiet goodbyes. Diane Keaton's final moments reflected the life she lived, private, dignified, and filled with love. Though pneumonia may have taken her physical presence, her essence, that contagious laughter, fearless originality, and endless warmth, remains untouchable. For fans around the world, her departure may have been sudden, but her spirit continues to shine, reminding us all that true stars never really go out. They simply move to a different kind of light. A silent battle took Diane Keaton from the world, leaving behind waves of grief and reflection. But what will define her memory, controversy, or the grace that marked her extraordinary life? Let's find out Diane Keaton's enduring legacy. Diane Keaton wasn't just another name on Hollywood's star-studded Walk of Fame. She was a force of nature who transformed the very fabric of film, fashion, and womanhood. Her legacy goes far beyond the screen, touching hearts, inspiring generations, and leaving behind a mark that will never fade. From the moment she appeared on camera, Keaton had something magical, a mix of vulnerability, charm, and humor that made her unforgettable. She wasn't afraid to be real, to be messy, or to break the mold. With every role, she revealed new shades of what it meant to be human. Whether she was the quirky, free-spirited Annie Hall, the emotionally torn Kay Adams in the Godfather series, or the strong yet tender playwright in Something's Gotta Give, Keaton didn't just act. She became her characters. Her performances carried warmth, wit, and emotional truth that audiences instantly connected to. Her versatility was her greatest strength. Few actors could effortlessly switch from the charm of a romantic comedy to the intensity of a crime drama, yet Keaton did so with ease. In The First Wives Club, she gave voice to women rediscovering their strength and self-worth, showing that resilience and laughter could go hand in hand. Every time she appeared on screen, she brought authenticity, a rare quality that made her not just a performer, but a storyteller who understood life's complexities. But Diane Keaton's influence didn't stop with her acting. She became a style icon who reshaped Hollywood fashion. At a time when women were expected to dazzle in gowns and heels, Keaton boldly showed up in wide-legged pants, crisp blazers, turtlenecks, and her signature bowler hat. Her menswear-inspired look wasn't just fashion, it was a statement. It said, "I don't have to dress like everyone else to be beautiful." That message resonated across generations, encouraging countless women to embrace their individuality and dress for themselves. Off-screen, Keaton's life reflected the same courage and authenticity she brought to her art. She never felt pressured to follow traditional paths. Instead, she carved out her own, choosing not to marry and later becoming a mother through adoption. She raised her 2 children, Dexter and Duke, with deep love and devotion, often calling them her greatest source of joy. Her choices reflected a woman comfortable in her own skin, someone unafraid to live life exactly the way she wanted. Outside the dazzling world of Hollywood, Diane Keaton revealed a heart full of compassion and purpose. She championed causes that reflected her deep humanity, fighting for animal welfare, preserving historic treasures, and supporting the homeless. Every project she touched carried her empathy and care. Keaton's kindness reached beyond fame, showing that her brilliance wasn't limited to the screen but lived on in every life, home, and creature she helped protect with unwavering love and dedication. Diane Keaton's life was a tapestry woven with courage, humor, and compassion. She redefined what it means to age gracefully, to live boldly, and to stay true to oneself in a world full of expectations. Her laughter, her style, and her spirit continue to inspire long after the lights have dimmed. Diane Keaton didn't just entertain the world, she inspired it. Her work redefined what it means to be bold, brilliant, and authentic. But was her incredible talent ever truly recognized? What honors celebrated her remarkable journey? Now let's uncover Diane Keaton's awards and honors, celebrating a Hollywood original. Few stars in Hollywood have left a mark as deep and enduring as Diane Keaton. Her influence stretched far beyond her films. It shaped the very soul of modern cinema. Over a career spanning more than 5 decades, Keaton built a reputation not only as one of the most talented actresses of her time, but also as a symbol of individuality, authenticity, and courage. Every performance she gave, every character she brought to life, carried her unmistakable touch, a blend of wit, honesty, and emotional brilliance that no one else could quite replicate. Her defining moment came with Annie Hall, 1977, a film that changed romantic comedies forever. In that role, Keaton wasn't just acting, she was being. The quirky clothes, the nervous laughter, the unfiltered honesty. They all felt real because they were real. Annie Hall was more than a movie, it was a cultural shift. The film redefined love stories, showing that romance could be messy, funny, and deeply human. For her extraordinary performance, Keaton won the Academy Award, the BAFTA, and the Golden Globe for Best Actress, sweeping every major accolade and cementing her place among Hollywood's greatest. But Annie Hall was only the beginning of Diane Keaton's remarkable journey. Throughout her career, she showed an incredible ability to shine in every genre. As Kay Adams in the Godfather trilogy, she embodied quiet strength and inner turmoil, while, as Erica Berry in Something's Gotta Give, she captured hearts with warmth and humor. Each role she played revealed new shades of her artistry, fierce yet tender, witty yet deeply emotional, proving that Keaton was not just an actress, but a storyteller of the human soul. Her work didn't go unnoticed. Keaton earned 4 Oscar nominations across her career, along with countless other honors celebrating her artistry. Yet what made her truly special wasn't just the awards. It was the fearlessness behind them. She chose roles that challenged her, stories that felt alive, and characters that defied expectation. Even in an industry obsessed with glamour and perfection, Keaton remained refreshingly real. She reminded audiences that beauty comes from confidence and that authenticity is far more powerful than conformity. In 2017, her incredible journey came full circle when the American Film Institute presented her with its prestigious Life Achievement Award. It was a night that celebrated not only her decades of memorable performances, but also her lasting impact on the art of storytelling. As her peers and admirers paid tribute, one thing became clear. Diane Keaton wasn't just a great actress. She was a cultural icon who changed the way Hollywood saw women, fashion, and film itself. To Diane Keaton, success was never measured by trophies or applause. It wasn't about fame, but about passion, a pure love for storytelling and staying true to herself. Beneath her humor and quirky charm lived a bold, creative soul who valued freedom over conformity and authenticity over approval, forever redefining what it meant to be truly original. Today, Diane Keaton's legacy continues to inspire new generations of actors, filmmakers, and dreamers who see her as proof that being different is powerful. She taught the world that true greatness isn't about perfection, but about honesty, courage, and heart. Her laughter, creativity, and fearless individuality will forever remind Hollywood that real artistry never fades. It only grows brighter with time. What do you think really happened at Diane's grave? Was it just a coincidence or something more? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.